Hello everyone, Diane Sylvan here. Please pardon my bright red nose. I live in Texas and the cedar pollen outside is trying to murder all of us, so I'm very itchy at the moment. If you don't know me, I am a novelist, a Unitarian Universalist neo-pagan witch, a writer, teacher, artist, caffeine enthusiast, neurospicy, trans enthusiastic feminist. So I'm really glad you're here. I wanted to come on and share something that I created to help myself because, to be perfectly honest with you, the last few weeks I've been in a mental health free fall, and I suspect a lot of you have too. I've had major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder in my whole adult life, possibly longer, and this constant onslaught of just callousness and violence, racism, misogyny, pedophilia, state-sponsored murder and warmongering, and just it's so much and it's so constant, and it's been fucking killing me, and I don't want to be paralyzed. I don't want to collapse under the weight of all of this. And I've been finding that I can't even get out of bed in the morning some days. It's that bad. And it's especially bad when you finally are able to reckon with the fact that America has always been like this. This is not new. This is the reality that immigrants and minorities, particularly people of color, have been dealing with for this country's entire existence. It was built on the backs of the subjugated and the enslaved and people who were, you know, raped and murdered, and it's overwhelming when you realize that in my case as a white person, I am complicit just by living with the privilege that I have. My life has not been easy, but it has not been difficult because of my race. It has not been difficult because of where I was born. So in that way, I've been extraordinarily privileged to just be able to kind of see the violence and then continue my life. In the back of my mind, I know it's awful and I know it's terrible, but what can I do about it? I'm just one person. How can you really make a difference when there's so much that you're up against? And that's kind of, I think, the point of all of this right now is that it's being dumped on us at such a high volume because they want us to become desensitized and to throw up our hands and just give up. And I, for one, am not willing to give them the satisfaction. You know, Maybe I can't make a huge ripple in this vast shit soup that is our country lately. Maybe I can't bend the arc toward justice in a meaningful way just by myself, but at least if I try, if I can move past my despair and into a place of action, then I will feel like I have acted with integrity and I didn't die on my knees. I didn't die with my head in the sand. I stood up and was counted in whatever way I was able, you know? And I can't be a lot of good to the greater justice work in the world if I can't get out of bed. So I created this that I'm calling a litany against despair, which I know is kind of pretentious, but whatever. Um, I created it to help me tap into my inner resources and draw on the strength that I know that I have in there somewhere, and to work with my connection to deity, to the earth, and to others, and to find the courage and the resolve that I need to get the fuck up and get going. I might not be able to do a lot as one person, but that's not an excuse not to do anything. As one of my vegan mentors, Colleen Patrick Goudreau, used to say, don't do nothing because you can't do everything. Do something, anything. And I think that no matter what your strengths, no matter what your limitations, there's a place at the table for you when it comes to working for justice. We can all do something, but we have to be able to call on our inner strength to do so, and we have to be able to get past the onslaught and put it in its proper place and move on from there. So this is just a tool that I've been using. Like I said, it's from the perspective of someone who is a yuyu and a witch and a pagan, so it's directed toward a goddess. If you want to use this, feel free to change the wording to put in the terminology that works within your belief system. I don't care if you believe what I believe. What matters to me is that not that we believe the same things, but that we're all working for the same things. So feel free to take any of this that inspires you and drop the rest. It's fine. So let's try this out together. If you can, try and find a place and a moment where you can be still, or at least be in quiet for a few minutes. I would recommend that you find a comfortable seat, that you close your eyes if you're able to, because then you can focus a little bit better. But don't sweat it if you can't. If all you can do is listen to the words and maybe save them for later, that's fine. This isn't a formal ritual or anything like that. It's really more of just a prayer. So the first thing that we're going to do is ground a little bit. Nothing fancy. We're just going to go back to the most fundamental thing that your body knows how to do, which is breathe. Hopefully this is something you're pretty good at. So for a moment, just try, if you can, to take a few good deep breaths. When you're stressed, you tend to breathe higher up in your chest, and that kind of signals to your nervous system that you're under duress. So if you want to find a calmer spot, one thing that you can do is to try and breathe lower in your body. Imagine that you can pull in the air not just into your lungs, but down into your belly, down to your diaphragm, all the way down to your toes if you can. Just it's all right to do it out loud. That can actually help. It can help you focus on lengthening and deepening your breaths. But don't feel like you have to push. Don't try to force it. Again, this is something that your body hopefully knows how to do, so just kind of let her do it. Now, our lives intersect with the lives of others at thousands of points throughout our lives. In my view, we're kind of part of this vast and endless web of possibilities and probabilities, and every interaction, every moment changes something, even if it's tiny. If one strand is shaken, we all feel it. If you fire a bullet into one strand, we're all damaged. And that means that there's no me and no you. Ultimately, there's just us. There's just this. And in my particular belief system, that web is God, is deity. And through it, we are all connected to one another. So for just a moment, if you can, imagine that you can see this web. Imagine that you can close your eyes and it's there. And all of these strands and all of these threads stretch out from you to other people, to the earth, to your pets, to your friends, to your enemies, to the air, to the water. And you can feel the strength of the earth underneath you. You can feel the strength of your own self deep on the inside. Even if it's been sapped lately, it's still there. You still have resources. And as we go through this, imagine that when you breathe in, every time you breathe in, you're drawing that energy into you. That the strength of the earth and the strength of life itself is flowing into you and infusing all of your cells and your soul with resolve. And that then enables you to allow that energy to keep flowing, to reach out along those strands past yourself and to other people. Another metaphor that you might find useful is that you are the chalice on your altar, you're the vessel, and God, deity, goddess, the universe is the water that fills that chalice. And in order to give other people a drink, you have to be replenished yourself. You can't offer to other people what you don't already have. You need to allow yourself to be renewed and restored. So just breathe in and let all of that energy flow into you and strengthen you and, square off your shoulders and straighten your spine. And then just kind of take these words for your own in whatever way helps you. I am a child of the goddess, spun out of sacred fire and stardust. I am called to meet this moment, but I am human and afraid. I reach within myself and to the Divine Mother to lead me out of despair and into truth. I call forth a circle of strength and integrity. By earth, I remain rooted, even in chaos. By air, I lend my voice to those who cannot speak. By fire, I transform my holy anger into even holier action. By water, I let my grief flow into the great river of compassion. Earth, my resolve. Air, my voice. Fire, my courage. Water, my love. Earth, my resolve. Air, my voice. Fire, my courage. Water, my love. Earth, my resolve. Air, my voice. Fire, my courage. Water, my love. For the highest good, for justice and renewal. By her grace, so shall it be. Remember that everything, even your rage, comes from your capacity to love. The drive for justice and the yearning for equality, all of these things, they come from this well of love within you that refuses to settle for things like it's always been this way or what can one person do, because you know that everyone deserves better. That well inside you can't fully be drained. It can't completely run dry. It can only be obscured. And you always have the capacity to fill it back up again. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're alive, there's hope that you can make things better. Not just for you, but for everybody in the world. So stay safe out there. And thanks for being here with me. I'll see you next time.